Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're back with another weekly recap. Now this week we have more bounty hunter updates, but also there were a few interesting stories, mainly that Jagex has shut down a few of the bigger gold selling websites, and this week the third person to obtain 4.6 billion experience happened as well. As always, I'll be going over any community updates, the Q&A recap, and of course any game updates. I hope you enjoy the video and let's get started. Okay, now this week was the official release of the Bounty Hunter update. No more beta as far as I can tell. After 3 weeks of testing and tweaking, the Bounty Hunter rework has been added to the live game. We'd like to thank everyone for participating in the beta and giving valuable feedback. Now I'll just quickly overview the point and reward system again, and then there's a few interesting tidbits of information in the middle of this paragraph I want to go and highlight. Bounty hunters now receive bounty points for killing their target. Killing several targets in a row will begin a kill streak that awards more points. Currently, you will receive 3, 4, or 5 points per kill on a kill streak of 0, 3, and 10. On top of that, bonus points are awarded similar to task streaks from Slayer, as well as you'll also receive 10 points for completing optional tasks or bounties that cycle every 30 minutes. Most of the bounties involve killing your target with a handicap, offering extra rewards for bounty hunters who are skilled enough to complete them. Okay, next up here we have the reward shop, which is a bit underwhelming as none of the rewards actually really passed. The new bounty hunter points can be spent on rewards from the Emblem Trader's new shop. The new bounty hunter shop will include all of the items that it previously did, however they will be recosted for the new system. You're able to purchase bounty crates costing 5 points. These will contain a variety of PK and supplies, including the occasional mysterious emblem or ornate mall handle. You can buy teleport to target tablets. For 1 point each, these will teleport you to the current target if you have the spell unlocked. You can buy a decorative mysterious emblem costing 100 points, and this is used to create the emblem display in your POH. And you're also able to purchase a bounty hunter hat, which will change in appearance as you get more bounty hunter kills. So obviously not a very big offering, a bit disappointing I think for most people. Okay, now there's a really interesting section here called Unique Rewards. We hope to offer some unique rewards for Bounty Hunter. Unfortunately, they didn't pass the poll, so they haven't been added. However, we're very much aware that the polling system hasn't been working well in instances where many of the voters don't engage in the content. We're considering alternative ways of offering such updates, perhaps by limiting access to the poll to only those players who've recently engaged with similar content. We are aware that that requirement could be farmed, and so we'd have to require that the activity had taken place within a window of time before each relevant poll. This way, players hoping to farm the requirements in order to spite vote will have to continue to put in effort each time. As part of this, we'd commit to designing such updates to minimize their impact on players who weren't invited to vote in the poll. For example, a new PvP weapon might be usable only in PvP. But these new polls wouldn't just be about PvP, boss content and skilling content could potentially be treated in the same way. This may not be the right solution for oldschool RuneScape, and we're open to alternative approaches, including working with a council of players to guide the design in the first place. We're going to put out a survey in the coming weeks to see how the community feels about this sort of thing. If it's acceptable, we hope to use it to offer more fitting rewards for Bounty Hunter. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this. I do sympathize with people in specifically the PvP community or people in very niche communities. There definitely is a bit of spite voting, especially for PvP content, and it definitely is a smaller community compared to PvM. I'm not really sure about this. I feel like this is overly complicated, especially how they want to apply it potentially to all aspects of the game. I'm assuming like for Bounty Hunter polls, you'd have to get a few Bounty Hunter kills. PvM, maybe you'd have to kill a few bosses or do a certain amount of Slayer tasks or something. I'm not totally against the idea, but I think there's going to be a lot of backlash if people aren't allowed to vote in the poll and it does end up affecting other aspects of the game retroactively or unintentionally. I don't think it's going to feel good to have your choices and your voice taken away, even if they say it shouldn't affect you in the future. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? I barely even noticed this. It's kind of sandwiched between two things here, but anyway, let's move on. Now there is a bit more on Bounty Hunter, but I already went over the beta and not too much has changed. And now let's move on to Twisted Leagues, which I can't believe they're next week. That is a crazy quick turnaround for that. Realistically, I'm not going to be playing the Twisted League. I might pop in there just to see what it's all about, but I don't know. I can't make a new account. People will destroy me for doing that. The first iteration of the Twisted League is arriving next week. The Twisted League will be open from November 14th to January 16th. Prepare to immerse yourself in an all-new game mode where you can complete tasks on Karen and Kebos to gain points. Just to do a quick overview, the Twisted League is going to be a seasonal type of game mode that will run for a couple months and then it'll be closed off forever. There will be rewards, but for the most part, they are not going to be affecting the main game in any way. Now, we haven't seen it yet, but in my opinion, I don't think the experience rates are going to be high enough to warrant me playing this again. Anyway, I am pretty interested to see how this pans out. Oh, and I almost missed this, but at the very bottom in the other changes section, there's a few actually pretty important ones here. First appear the Rune Pouch now costs 750 Slayer points. Thank God. That'll be so much easier to get on my Ultimate Ironman. Previously, it was 1,250. That is actually a very substantial reduction. On top of that, there is now the Dagenhai robe sets in the Grand Exchange, so we can go ahead and combine the 3 pieces into the Dagenhai set. I might give that a try, but I don't think the volume on the Dagenhai set is high enough, really. And another interesting thing here is after a successful trial, the Adventure Pass will now be offered to all new players. The Adventure Path is something that was kind of under the carpet. Is that the expression? Under the rug? Anyway, yeah, there's not a lot of information on it, but for the new player experience, there's kind of an introductory quest line almost. I might go ahead and try it out on a new account. I'm kind of interested. But beyond that, mostly just bug fixes and small quality of life updates. Anyway, that is it for today's game update. Now, one of the biggest stories from this week, I think, is that the legal department for Jagex actually was successful in shutting down 2 of the largest gold selling websites, which honestly I think is going to be very beneficial for the game. Yes, there are loads of other ones, I'm sure, but I'm still optimistic about this one. I always wondered how those gold selling websites actually stayed up so long, because, well, it certainly is breaking game rules. I'm just not sure what laws they are often breaking, but clearly it is possible to shut them down. And in my opinion, shutting down these gold selling websites will actually have a tangible effect on the amount of real world trading in the game. The 2 gold selling websites were called Arcus Gold and Bogla Gold. And if you try to visit the websites now, you just get an error and says the web server is down. And while these websites did mostly sell RuneScape Gold, there was a few other games in there as well, so beneficial to everyone all around. Next appear another massive achievement. A account by the name of Shawnbay has finally achieved the overall maximum experience, 4.6 billion. They are the 3rd person to do it, which is extremely impressive. The amount of time put in, astronomical. I could never imagine it. And they are number 3. I'm kind of interested to see who claims the top 10 spot. Well, there's another Twitch Prime promotion. We never seem to be able to escape these things. I mean, they are good. I mean, a lot of people are going to take advantage of it. I have Amazon Prime. I could take advantage of it. I just forget to. Unfortunately, there is a lot of exploits that can happen between Amazon Prime and Jagex, which allows botters to essentially get free membership. Not sure if that's going to be the case this time, but I am apprehensive about it. One thing I actually forgot to go over last week was the poll results. We can already see that the Rune Pouch passed and it was changed in today's poll. However, there were also some updates to the Abyssal Sire, which I don't think were in today's update, so we should be seeing those in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And that is it for community news this week. And last up here, I wanted to do a quick recap of the Q&A. Okay, first up here, the Halloween event ends today, I believe, so that's going to be out of there. If you haven't done it, now's your last chance to do so. Okay, first up here, could we have an update on Mod Ash's Hit Splat recolor work? He was asked to put it on hold back in the summer due to a conflict with the Song of the Elves changes. Since then, it's been put on hold for some other things like Last Man Standing. Hopefully, we'll get back to that at the end of the month. Now, during the Q&A, there was more talk about poll results and how they impact specific communities. There does seem to be a bit of an initiative to attempt to change the polling structure so that individual communities could have less interference from the player base as a whole. They said we've had a back and forth on whether it's fair to exclude players on some arbitrary criteria. Eventually there will have to be a line in the sand, and we accept that some players will be unhappy with that. The discussion is kind of highlighted in today's post. I'm not going to be going over the entire thing, but there has been quite a bit of talk about it. Ironman won't be able to engage with the new Bounty Hunter crates. Was this intentional? What can be done to reward Ironman players? They hope to get something done for Ironman in the next week or 2. The reason it was restricted is that some of the rewards for Bounty Hunter are potions and other things that may not be available to Ironman previously, so they want to make sure it's balanced and not breaking some of the core Ironman mechanics. In construction, objects are very quick to build. In the future, could there be a method that is for heavy furniture that is slower and less intensive than mahogany tables, for example? Not that it should be AFK, but just less intense. They said they're open to the idea, but simply building at a slower rate for less experience could be an answer for now. Is there going to be a way to redistribute relic choices in the leagues? They said they thought about this, but they have concluded that they're not going to be offering an option to change your relic after you've chosen it. In the same way that we can report nasty or toxic rule-breaking players, could we also report positive engagement? They said they could, but they would have to have absolutely no in-game benefit, as it wouldn't really be checked for accuracy. Will the Twisted League rewards be on the collection log? No, it will not be on there. What is the ETA on clans and group Ironman? They said they don't know yet, simply as this depends on an external team, the engine team. But once we've got what we need from them, we want to prioritize it on our end. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for the weekly recap. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate it if you left the video a like, and I will see you next time.